The sun was already a white-hot blade in the sky when the 8 members of the Fire Creek Band surged across the brittle tall grass plain, breath heaving, legs pumping in coordinated rhythm. No introduction, no pause, just raw motion. They were already deep in the chase. Ahead of them, a weakened antelope staggered toward a dry ravine, foam gathering at its lips, its gait broken by exhaustion. The hominins moved with a relentless persistence only Homo erectus could manage. Long limbs, forward-leaning torsos, sweat streaming off their dark skin as they drove the animal through the shimmering heat. This was their last hope for meat before the grasslands turned fully barren. So they ran. The antelope collapsed first. Always the antelope. It crashed to its knees near a cracked salt pan, giving the Fire Creek Band the moment they needed. The eldest male rushed first, and although in chopper in hand, lifting it high for a swift killing blow. A younger female held the rear, scanning the distant tree lines for hyenas or lions, drawn by the sound of struggle. Everything was action, no speech, just instinct and necessity. When the animal finally stilled, their shoulders slumped briefly, relief momentarily washing through the group like a shared pulse. But the relief did not last. A distant rumble traveled across the ground, the guttural snarls of hyenas emerging from the heat haze. The Fire Creek Band froze. The hyenas were close, hungry. 2 females quickly tore into the carcass with stone flakes, while another adult scooped blood and fat into a folded leaf to carry back to the infants. The band worked in frantic coordination. They could not finish the butchering, not here. They grabbed what they could, slung haunches over shoulders, and sprinted for the ravine. The hyenas arrived seconds later, ripping into the remains with bone-crushing jaws. The Fire Creek Band did not look back. Their feet pounded the earth again, every heartbeat echoing urgency. This was seasonal scarcity at its peak. Every predator desperate, every kill contested. They slid down the ravine wall, panting, collapsing into a pocket of shade where sparse trees clung to the sloping earth. Infants clung to their mothers' torsos, wide-eyed and silent. The band tore into the meat with trembling hands, consuming as much as they safely could before the heat forced them onward. The next challenge followed without pause. Clouds, dark, towering, violent, began assembling over the western horizon. The winds shifted abruptly, as if some unseen force dragged cold air across the plain. The Fire Creek Band looked upward. Storms in this region came suddenly, with punishing force. Lightning cracked, splitting the sky in jagged flashes. Fat raindrops struck the ground, raising tiny explosions of dust before turning into a roaring sheet of water and wind. The band scrambled toward a scatter of basalt boulders at the ravine's edge. A nursing mother shielded her infant with her entire body. 2 males locked arms to keep from being swept off balance. Mud began forming instantly under their feet, threatening to drag them down the incline. Lightning struck a lone acacia tree near them, sending burning splinters across the slope. The children shrieked, not with sound, but with desperate, clutching motions. The Fire Creek Band huddled together in the boulder crevice. Rain hammered their backs, wind howled across the ravine, and for a moment, the entire world felt hostile enough to erase them. Yet they endured, breathing slow, holding tight, pressing into one another like a single organism fighting against nature's fury. When the storm passed, the landscape had transformed. The dry riverbed now churned with brown, chaotic water. This was then the first twist arrived. On the opposite bank of the now flooded riverbed, 20 figures emerged, larger in number, taller, leaner, a rival Homo erectus tribe. They surveyed the Fire Creek Band with intent eyes, the swollen river separating them. The Fire Creek Band knew immediately these strangers were not merely passing through. They moved like seasoned hunters returning to their territory, and the 8 intruders, weakened and carrying fresh meat, were trespassing. The rival tribe beat their palms against their chests in a slow rhythm, a display of dominance. The Fire Creek Band responded with lowered posture, signaling no challenge. But the rivals did not relent. One raised a long, sharpened stick toward them, not a direct threat, but a warning. The floodwaters, meanwhile, rose higher. The Fire Creek Band retreated deeper into the ravine, climbing over slick stones and navigating narrow channels, while the rival tribe tracked them from the opposite bank. The river's roar swallowed everything except the thunder in their chests. They would have to wait out the flood before moving again. Night fell. Cold seeped into the ravine. Infants whimpered softly in their mother's arms. Without fire, without shelter, and with the rival tribes still shadowing their movements from across the water, the Fire Creek Band curled together for warmth. Stars emerged in a clear strip of sky above, and hyenas chuckled somewhere in the distance. Sleep was shallow and intermittent. Every rustle drew sharp glances. Every distant growl tightened their muscles. At dawn, the air cooled and still. Mist hugged the ravine floor as they cautiously approached the riverbank. The floodwaters had lowered enough to cross, but crossing meant exposing themselves to the much larger rival tribe. They scanned the far side. Empty. The rivals were gone. Or so they believed. The Fire Creek Band began their crossing. The water pushed against their bodies, swirling around their thighs, then their waists. One misstep could sweep a child away. The eldest male carried the youngest infant high above his head. Two females held hands tightly as they crossed. Pebbles shifted beneath their feet. The current tugged relentlessly. Then came the second twist. One of the rival scouts revealed himself, stepping out from behind the reeds on the far shore. Then another, then three more. The Fire Creek Band froze mid-crossing, trapped in the center of the river, water churning around them. The rivals fanned out, ready to block their landing. Their weapons, longer and sharper, glinted in the morning light. The Fire Creek Band made a split-second decision. They turned and angled downstream, pushing through faster currents to reach a more distant exit point. The rivals reacted instantly, sprinting along the bank to intercept them. The chase resumed, this time tribe against tribe, with children in hand and the river threatening to drag anyone under. The last of the Fire Creek Band leapt onto the muddy bank downstream, just as the rival tribe caught up to them. The confrontation was immediate and explosive. Stones were thrown, sharp, heavy, precise. A rival male lunged forward but slipped in the mud, giving the Fire Creek Band a moment to retreat deeper into thick reeds. The 8 hominins vanished like shadows into the tall grass, breath ragged, hearts pounding. Hours passed. The savanna steamed under the post-storm sun. The Fire Creek Band moved through a valley of scattered trees, searching desperately for safe ground. A juvenile stumbled repeatedly. Dehydration gnawed at all of them. They pressed onward, toward a line of distant hills. As they neared a cluster of termite mounds, a sickening scent drifted on the wind. Carrion. And then came the deep, rhythmic pounding of paws. Lions. 3 lionesses emerged from the grass, hungry and opportunistic. The Fire Creek Band swarmed together instantly, raising their stone tools, beating the ground with sticks, making themselves appear larger. One male screeched, a high-pitched warning cry. It was not enough to intimidate the lions, but it slowed them. The lionesses circled, muscles rippling under tawny hides. A mother clutched her infant tight, stepping backward toward a cluster of fallen logs. A young adult male hurled a stone directly at a lioness's eye. She recoiled, snarling, shaking her head. And then, just as the lions were about to spring forward, the rival tribe arrived. 20 Homo erectus burst from the grassland with a storm of noise, brandishing spears and stones. Their presence startled the lions, who retreated with twitching tails before turning and disappearing into the grass. But the danger had not passed. Now the Fire Creek Band stood face to face with the much larger rival tribe. No river, no storm, no barrier between them. The rivals fanned out, a semicircle tightening like an ever-closing trap. One dominant male stepped forward, his chest puffed, his posture aggressive. He reached toward the meat haunch still strapped to a Fire Creek Band member's shoulder. A standoff, breathless, waited. The Fire Creek Band slowly lowered the meat to the ground as an offering. The rival leader inspected it, sniffed it, then lifted his chin in acceptance. He tapped his chest twice, a signal not of dominance, but of recognition. The tension broke. Rival tribe members stepped back, lowering their weapons. The semicircle opened. The Fire Creek Band exhaled collectively, muscles slackening with relief. Their lives had been spared. What followed was an unexpected release of violence from nature itself.
A sudden tremor shook the earth. The ground rippled like water. Birds erupted from trees. Dust plumes rose from cracked earth. The hominins clung to boulders and trees until the tremor faded. The rival tribe, seizing the moment, gestured toward the distant hills. An unspoken message: follow the land upward, away from the unstable valley. They turned and moved on, leaving the Fire Creek Band behind. The Fire Creek Band climbed the foothills, driven by exhaustion more than hope. Up the slope they went, infants carried tightly against sweating chests, elders supported under each arm. When they reached the ridge, the world opened before them in a breath-stealing vista. A green basin untouched by drought, with a winding river still full of clean water, and grazing herds scattered across the plain. They descended, cautiously, reverently. At the river's edge, the Fire Creek Band finally drank deeply, water streaming down their faces, washing away dust and fear. Infants played with the current. Adults gathered reeds, plucked edible tubers, and used sharp flakes to extract marrow from their remaining bones. The eldest female placed a handful of soaked leaves on a child's wounded foot, calming his pain. As the sun dipped behind the hills, the Fire Creek Band huddled together, this time not in fear, but in renewal. They shared the last of the meat, passing it hand to hand. The world around them hummed with insects, birds, and the steady pulse of life returning. They had survived the lions, the flood, the storm, the rival tribe, the trembling earth itself. Their unity, 8 beating hearts bound by instinct and endurance, had carried them across a landscape that demanded everything. Tomorrow would bring new hardships, new migrations, new predators, new hunts. But tonight, for the first time in many days, they rested. Together, alive, stronger than before.